Hello everyone, I'm Faraz Ahmed and my teammate is Sailesh Naik. Today we are going to show you how to build a simple React app. So we'll be building a simple login page in React.js and we'll be building the backend in Node.js. So we'll be using this library called as create React app to come up with a basic structure. So the first thing that you have to do is install this library. So you have to run this command. I've already installed this library, so I'll be skipping this part. The second thing is we have to create an app. So for that you have to run this command. So let us go ahead and create an app. You can give any name. I'll give it as my login. Okay, so now it is installing all the dependencies. Let us wait till all the libraries are installed. Okay, so this is the basic structure of our React app. So we have all the node modules, then we have this src folder which will have all the files, all the view. This is where you actually create the views and write the business logic for user interaction. Okay, so let us go ahead and try to run this. To run that app, you have to go to the directory and execute this command. So the app will be okay. As you can see over here, the app, to view the app you have to type in this URL in your browser. Yeah, so this is our basic React app. So we'll be going and going to the file like it says over here, app.js, and do the necessary changes. Okay, so I will be using Visual Studio for editing. Okay, it is simple login. Okay, src app.js. Yeah, so we need to make changes over here. So let me just close it over here. I'll execute it directly from, yeah. Okay, so in React, there's a functional component wherein this function returns you the HTML, basically JSX elements that will be rendered on the browser. Okay, so let us just have a simple button named as sign up. Okay, and let me just run this. So like I said before, to run you need to type npm run start. Yeah, as you can see over here we have this button. Okay, now we'll quickly build a simple login form. I'll be making use of Bootstrap. So let me go ahead and okay. Mm, so basically Bootstrap is used to build uh, views. There are multiple ways by which you can incorporate Bootstrap. One using npm install. It installs as a library. You can even make use of the CDN. So I'll be using CDN. So let me just copy this, and you need to put this in index.js. Come over here, yeah, somewhere over here. Let me just put this. Okay, now I need CSS. Okay. Okay, so now I'll be able to use CSS Bootstrap. So let me just go ahead. Okay, let me just show you the difference. So okay, if you remember, the button was different before. Now it is different. This is because of CSS. CSS adds its own styles. I will give it as button. Let me just check. So if I want this button, you need to come over here and give this class. So now if you see, the button has changed. Now okay, so now we need a form. So we will take the user name and password. Okay, so for that, come over to forms, just copy this, paste it over here, format. Okay, so the error is using this and input over here. Okay, so now we have a form, a basic form. So this does not look good. Let me just try to change it a bit. Container, a bit better. Okay, we can make use of Flexbox maybe, or yeah, as of now. Okay, what's the time? Okay, okay. Yeah, this. Okay, so this can be changed. The styling can be changed, but let us go ahead with this styling and try to build the node backend, which will take the user email ID and password and try to validate it. Okay, before that, let me just try to decrease the width of input. There is for those who are new to CSS, you can directly come over here, right click on the element, then inspect. Let me just go ahead. Okay, inspect. Over here, you can change the width to head length. So as you can see, it changes. So you can try uh, the try with multiple values over here. Sorry, 15 rem. Okay, inspect width 15 rem. Yeah, so you can basically try different values, and if you're happy with that, you can come and do the necessary changes over here. We'll look into the changes in a later video. As of now, let us just go ahead with this, the basic thing, and now Shailesh will uh, teach you how to create a node backend.
Hi guys, I'm Shailesh and I'll be teaching you on how to create a Node Express based backend server. So Faraz has already told you how to make simple React frontend. So we'll hook up this login form with our backend. So the first step would be to go ahead and create a folder called backend. So once we create this folder, let's open it up in an editor like VS Code. Yeah, so we'll open this folder up and we'll generate the basic structure for the backend. So there's a command called npx express generator which will generate an express application code structure for us, which we can start working with. So if you see, the simple command has created whatever we need here. So we can see that this app.js is the main server file that usually runs. So this is a lot of boilerplate code here that we need not worry about much, but as you go ahead and you will need to know what every line does. But for now, let's just focus on the routes. So yeah, so you can see here that we have two routers where we mainly write the logic of our code. So yeah, so we'll write a simple logic here. So each router has these functions, predefined functions like get, post, put, and delete, which handle different requests, different HTTP requests on the front end. So for a get request without any kind of path, as a dummy, let's just try and send out a message saying backend server. Yes. Run. Okay. So before that, we need to install our packages. So if you see here, there's a file called package.json. This has all the dependencies that is required for this project. So running npm install installs all these dependencies into our package. So you can see here a folder called node modules will appear. So yeah, it is when this happens. So let's go ahead and start our server. So when you run npm start, your server is running on a port 3000. So let's go ahead and create a, so I'm using this tool called Postman to create a basic request. So since I'm running at 3000, just hit it. So you see, we get this response, welcome to backend server. Now let's go ahead and create some more services. So we need a post. We'll be having a post service from the front end for login. So let's say the URL is login. So we need to write a callback function here, which takes in the request and has a response object that it will respond to. So okay, so since we don't have a database to verify our users, let's just create a dummy array of users, and let's have objects like email, okay, so this will be our array. So when we get a request, we need to verify if it exists in this user table. So let's have something called result, and let's search our users table. So we'll assume that our request body has is in the form of is in JSON form and has an email and a password field to it. Okay, so let's just search here. If we're just checking if our request body's email is matching with our email here in the table, if any of the value is true, we'll have something in the result. So let's just check. If result exists, that means we have a user. We just need to compare the password of that. So Let's just compare result of password with request dot body of password. If this matches, we can say we can set a status of 200 and we can send a JSON response to the field called message and say successful login. If not, then we need to send password incorrect. And lastly, if user is not found, also we need to handle that case. So we'll send user not found. Alright, so we have our service set up here. Let's run the server again with the new changes. Okay, so we'll make a request from Postman. So it's a post and it's HTTP localhost. Just use something like this, and it will be a login. And body, we need a JSON body. So let's just take a valid input for now and check if everything's working fine. Yes, so we're getting a message successful login here, and if we check, if we change the username a little bit, we're getting user not found, so that's correct. And if we give a wrong password, we're getting password incorrect. Yeah, so our service is working fine. So let's go ahead and hook this up with our front end. Okay, so in the front end, we already have this form and this is the code for it. Yeah, so we need to make sure we are hitting our backend from the code here. So let's just write a function here called login, and let's just create a request which we want to send in the same format that we want. So our format will be the same here as this, right? So instead of this, we'll need to get it from the form. So I'll write document this here. Let's take it. Okay, so we have a request here, request JSON request. Now we need to make a call using, we'll use this module called as Axios, which is a very popular module which we use from React or any of this. It's a very popular JavaScript module for HTTP requests. So we'll import Axios in here. Make sure that you've installed this Axios in your package.json. So we'll take Axios and we'll make a post call to a URL, that is the URL that we know, localhost, where our server is running, so localhost 3000/login, and we'll pass in a body, which is the request which we just created now. Okay. And this Axios is a promise, so it returns, it resolves or rejects. So if it resolves, so we get a response, and usually the data that we want will be in response.data. So let's just alert the message that we are sending from backend. So it will be in response.data.message. Okay, and if there's any error, if the promise doesn't resolve, so we'll have error. So let's just console log those errors. Okay, and now we need to make sure this login is hooked up with our form here. So on submit, login. We're passing in the event here because we want to prevent the default behavior of a form submit, like the default HTML behavior. So we are writing prevent default, and so that this can execute smoothly. Okay, so now we've created a request, we're posting it. So let's just try and see what happens and do it from front end. So we have abc@gmail.com. So I prefer to open the networks tab whenever I make a call to see what's happening here. Okay, so we are not getting any response. It mostly is a CORS issue here because we are having the request is coming from localhost 8000 and our service running on localhost 3000. So we need to add some extra code in our backend. So I'll open the server file. I've already written this down. So this is the code you need to use, and just place it here. And let me restart the server. Okay, now let's try. So we see that we're getting a successful login here, and we can again test it out. User not found, working fine. Give a wrong password, so incorrect. So you can see how we have hooked this up for the backend successfully. Cheers guys, that's all from me and for us for today. Stay tuned for our next tutorial on how to hook up MySQL and MongoDB with Node.js backend servers.